Alrighty. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Heartstrings podcast. So today we have special guests. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Eduardo Yala.
And
my name is Alejandra.
all right.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
So Graciela, we talked about bringing in guests. Of course, we thought of you guys because of many reasons. But, we like seeing happy couples, and you guys definitely were one of those couples that we wanted to bring on. And just kind of get your, experience. Everybody has their struggles. Everybody goes through their own things. And, we kind of want to get as much information from everybody. So people that are listening, of course, kind of grasp onto those things.
Yeah, and it's not to, be all in your business, but it's there's, not everybody's going to be able to identify to our story. It's they might be able to identify to what you guys had to go through. And so that was the point of it all.
No, thank you for inviting us, and thank you for thinking about us, You guys are also a great couple. We always look up to you guys too, and we see you guys on Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
We were actually at you guys' wedding also,
Yeah.
one of the few.
Yeah.
And I know you, Mario, since fifth grade, so
Fourth grade.
we go back to elementary school, and so thank
Same.
you.
I know Graciela since elementary, so
Yeah. So, yeah.
Six kids.
there.
Six
We're
kids. Yeah.
We've grown up together.
Yeah. Yeah. So another thing that we talked about, because you brought up you kind of know each other from when we were younger, and then we mentioned the wedding. You guys were there, so you kind of got the hints or the glimpse of how kind of we were starting when we were a young couple. And previous episodes and in future episodes, we kind of go into detail how when we started, we were kind of struggling financially, and we went through our problems, and you guys kind of got to see that because we started off. We got married when we were pretty young. And, of course, with Aiden, I think you guys share a similar, experience. And I think.
So that's something that we've been talking about. So I recently saw your post about, going through postpartum depression.
oh, okay.
And I just, I was interested to get to know a little bit of that and how you've been feeling.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about that too.
Yeah. So, one of the things before we get into it that I wanted to share with you, I know that I don't think I ever shared it with you, but after I had Aiden, I was never medically diagnosed, but I know that I had a lot of feelings, I had a lot of things going on, and you actually, it may seem insignificant, but you guys did something for me that was very meaningful. I'm getting emotional. So, I don't know if you remember that one time when you guys picked me up and took me to Concord with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That meant a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it was super random, but we talked about maybe next week you guys can come, and it didn't happen. We talked about, she was she was kind of going it through her mind, and she's like, I want to mention this because it meant a lot. And then shortly after that, you posted that it's it's weird. We were just talking about that, and then you post that up. It's definitely we got to bring that up because when Aiden was born, we had we were living with her mom. We had we were having our issues, and at the time I didn't see those signs. So it's hard when we don't get diagnosed. You go through that. That's how relationships can end too. And we were just lucky that we got through that. It's a rough obstacle. But yeah.
So how has your experience been with that?
First of all, I had no idea, so thank you for sharing that. And now I literally know how important that is. My experience with postpartum depression started really early on, right after birth. So it was very confusing. I think it took me a little over a month to reach out for professional help. And it was just a lot of going back and forth with kind of figuring out what it was. So at first, just to give a little bit of the backstory, when you're pregnant, and even before you're pregnant, like usually women dream about, you're having a family, even like labor itself, like,
How
people
it's so
ask
beautiful.
you, are you going to do the epidural? Are you going to get tanto and all this stuff? And it's just like, you have this beautiful image or dream or whatever you want to call it, in your head. And even though some people say, anything can happen, you don't really think about that.
Yeah.
So everything was going really well during labor. Everything, like, in terms of the process of it, everything was fine until I started pushing, because everything was pretty good. And then the nurses were like, oh, his heartbeat is dropping. His heartbeat is dropping. And they immediately were like, oh, we have to do a C-section. Like, we can't, proceed with this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. Like, let me push. Maybe, like, can you give me like 30 minutes and like, pushing with
Like everything
you have,
Oh yeah, I was there.
And by the way, I did get the epidural, so I was like so happy. I'm like, oh my God, no me duele, it doesn't hurt,
Yeah.
But I was FaceTiming my mom to do this, so they were on FaceTime because, again, with the pandemic, no one could really be there. Just my husband was there, and then they just gave me 30 minutes, and they're like, no, he is not gonna be able to like survive this if we leave you to push, because it's not gonna happen in like 1 or 2 pushes. So that was so scary. And then that's where kind of like the trauma happened, because it was like immediate, like, you need to sign this. This is what C-section. And I was like, no, like, I don't want to know about the process because that's scary to me. And they're like, well, we have to legally tell you like what's the worst that can happen, for legal reasons. So long story short, we go get that done. We have the C-section done. They check him out. He's fine. And then right at the moment, like, I felt no connection with my baby. Like, I did not feel like a mom. I did not feel like I gave birth. Like, it was a really awkward situation. And it took a toll on me when we were already in our room, like, settled in. And Matias was in the little crib, and he cries, and I can't get up, and I have to tell him, like, can you tráemelo, bring him to me. Breastfeeding was amazing. He latched on like no problems. And that was another scary thing, because I'm like, what if I don't know how to do it? Like, what are you to do? My mom's not going to be there, like, to tell me. Like, he latched on immediately, so it was not that. It was just the attachment wasn't there. Like, I knew I loved him, but I just didn't feel that, So that's kind of how it started. And I just thought, maybe it's just that, the attachment and the trauma. Like, I was really scared about this C-section stuff. Like, my sister didn't go through any of that with her 3 kids. My mom did, but it was just so long ago, like, no one really talks about it. So we get home, and then things start getting a little worse. I didn't really notice until people started telling me, like, hey, like, you're not eating, or like, you're sleeping a lot. Or another thing was like, aren't you happy? Like, and I was like, I am happy. And for the first week, my older sister would text me every day, every morning. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? And at first I thought it was just like, maybe she's talking about how I'm healing, right? So I was like, oh, I'm just sore, blah, blah, blah. And I guess because I didn't really say anything emotionally, she just kind of dropped it. But then I started losing so much weight. I was literally eating just because I had to eat. Like, nothing tasted good. There was no taste in food. All I wanted to do was just be in my room with Matias asleep. And that was it. I didn't have any joy in talking to anyone or seeing anyone. Every night I would cry, and I would tell, sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I would tell my husband, like, why?
I would just try to jump in and like always be like, look, we have a beautiful baby. He definitely loves you, like just feel the moment. Like he will come to you, like, trust me. And it was difficult, to see the mom not attaching to the babies. You're like,
It must have been hard for you too.
Yes, we're first parents, we first time, and I never seen that or anything like that. So I just try to, like, obviously not get mad at her or anything. Like, I just, hey, he loves you, like, and I don't know. It was really difficult, but little by little, we're starting to work it out. I step in many situations, but
yeah, I can definitely attest to that. He was so supportive. We were so confused. He would tell me, like, why don't you call your doctor? And I was like, no. I don't think it's that serious. I'll be fine. And I would just kind of brush it off, like, no, I'm okay. Maybe it's just, it was just only because I didn't get to push my baby out, and that's just all there is. And then I would see my husband with my baby, and, like, you could just, like, see the love, the attachment, like, everything. And I was just like, why can't that be me with my baby? Mm-hmm. And then, so it took me about a month until we had a serious talk, and we were talking about, reaching out for help. Again, I had brushed it off, and I was like, no, give me a week. If it gets worse, then I'll do it, And obviously things weren't getting any better. It was the same symptoms. And at this point, other people were being concerned about it. I would just cry out of nowhere if anyone said anything, whether good or bad, about me and the baby. Like, I would just cry. And so I reached out to my doctor, and she immediately gave me, like, a referral to talk to a psychiatrist for an assessment. And it was right then and there. And they're like, yeah, we need to get you to treatment. And then I was like, okay, so, like, what is that? And she talked about medication. She talked about therapy, individual therapy, group therapy. So I was like, you know what? Let me do the therapy, both individual and group, and let's try it out, and let's see how that goes. And so, yeah, we went that route, and it was like a 6-week, right? I think 6-week sessions. So a weekly session every week for about an hour. And that went really well. My therapist was amazing. And I learned a lot. There was a lot of guilt. There was a lot of shame. And I learned about all this stuff about postpartum depression that I had no idea. Like, a lot of people, it's more common than people think. And a lot of the stuff that I was feeling was pretty normal, and just being able to normalize that and internalize it took a while, because my family didn't really know how to help me. So even that in itself, it was like, when I would finish a therapy session, like, my mom could probably be like, so what did the doctor say? And I was just like, like, how do I tell you? Like, like, what do I, like, to a Latina mom, like, it's very different. And a lot of it, I know they were trying their best to understand. And, like, at times they probably didn't know what they were saying wasn't as helpful, because it would be like, you'll be fine, like, just, he's going to grow up and things are going to change. And, like, it was a lot of, like, brush it off, you're good, brush it off, you're good. And
I was going to say something to that. So it's like, kind of like what I mentioned, like, for me, when I had to go through, like, my emotional whatever, I never reached out for help. And it was, a lot of it was just like, just brush it off, just brush off, like, what you're feeling, like, whatever, it'll go away. And that's kind of how I handled it. And then, it's always good to reach out and get support.
It really is. So that was the one. I actually reached out twice. So I completed my 6-week session, and everything was good. I finished it around my birthday. So, I'm like, okay, I'm great. I'm good. This is it. And I just recently finished my second phase of treatment, because I hit another low This one was a lot scarier because I felt that I had probably made up my mind, like, it's not going to happen again. Like, I finished it. I went through it. That was it. And this time around, I think it didn't really have to do with the attachment and the trauma of birth. It was more really just identity. There was a lot of that. You really lose yourself. And once you become a mom, it's life-changing. It's confusing. It's hard as hell. It's there's a lot. And then I was having trouble with the different roles, like being a mom, being a working mom, and then being a wife in itself, being a housewife. Like, there was all these different things that really made it difficult to kind of find myself again. And that kind of just spiraled out of control, and I had to reach out again, and I called my therapist, and I'm like, okay, like, this is happening. This is how I'm feeling. At this time, I didn't find any hope. This time around, even though I know that there was help, there was support, I could not, for the life of me, see any light. Like, I was just, there's no, I would see all the negatives. I could not see anything positive that I was doing, and I couldn't see a way to fix any of it. So that's kind of how that second phase of the treatment went. And as you know, I created a crafting business. Mm-hmm. So that was another experiment within that treatment, because I used to do a lot of crafts, arts and crafts when I was young. So I always loved that. And I saw a lot of people were doing all these different crafts and stuff. And I was like, well, you know what? What if I try this? It's something that I really used to like. So I did it. I actually bought the crafting machine behind Eduardo's back. And when I did, I literally texted my friends, and you know them, Carolina and them. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is the day I'm gonna get a divorce. If I need a house or something, like, you guys, and I sent them a picture
at your place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sent them a picture, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna hide it in my office for like 2 weeks, because it wasn't that cheap. But I mean, it wasn't crazy expensive. But we're also trying to like save money and stuff like that. So I was like, oh my God, he's gonna kill me, and I couldn't keep it from him. So I ended up telling him that same day. And he was totally fine about it. He was like, you know, if it's something that's going to make you feel better, he's like, I know you're going to do a bunch of things for Matias, so it's actually, you know, an investment. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to give it a try and see how it goes. So it wasn't a plan to do a business. It was more just do it for me and that kind of stuff.
It's like a hobby.
Mm-hmm. And it worked. I was doing that kind of stuff. And while I was doing it, oh my gosh, it felt like I was me again. I felt so much peace, so much happiness. And that's kind of where this idea of the business came about, for accountability. Because I was like, if I just use this as a hobby, then there's going to be days and I'm probably not going to feel that well. And it was literally helping me function through the day. Mm-hmm. So I was like, if I have people buying me stuff, then I have to work on it. So it was more of that, and thankfully that's been helping so much. So that's why it's not promoting too much or anything like that, because it's not really about a business. It's more of it's helping me.
Your well-being.
Yeah. So that's kind of a little summary, I guess, of postpartum depression on my end. Mm-hmm. It is very, very different on a spouse. We've had that talk too, about, you know, a lot of the load landed on him because I like I said, I could not function. There was just too much going on with me emotionally, mentally, physically. So he literally just ran with everything. Like, our house was running, life was going, and it was pretty much thanks to him.
No. Yeah.
To both of you.
Yeah,
Tough,
it's,
you know,
it's
but
tough. Yeah.
it was tough, you know, doing cooking, taking care of Matias, doing laundry, you know. Since I was a kid, I've been doing my own laundry too. So I know how to do all these things. I know how to work under pressure. So I just knew that she was struggling. So I just wanted to help her as much as I can, you know. Also, side note, we exchanged the crafting machine thingy for a more expensive one because she wanted it. We drove all the way to like Modesto or something because it was all the way over there, the only one they had. So I was like, you know what? I'll just drive you over there. And
How much was it?
it was like $100 more. It was like almost in the 3 something.
Fun fact: he still doesn't know the exact price.
Come on. But
Sure. That's how much
it was on sale.
Yeah,
supposedly it was on sale. Yeah.
No, but that's good. Like, you know, I know with her, she's also like, she's had her struggles, and like lately she's been like a lot better. And the way she does it is like, you know, buying books, makeup, candles, stuff like that. And it's nice to like see like, okay, I mean, I do it because like, kind of like, you know, if it helps you in your health and your well-being, then go for it, buy more, you know, like don't ask me, just do it. But it's nice to see like on the other side, like, you know, it's like, it's nice to see like how supportive, you know, you guys of each other. Because honestly, like me and her, we didn't know what postpartum depression is. You guys didn't know. So for someone that doesn't know.
It's kind of taboo. Like, is that the right word? Like, kind of like, you know, you don't really talk about it. Like, it's like, it doesn't really happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And then if it does, you feel like you're the only one. And it's like, you don't want people to see you that way. So when I started opening up, like so many, like I did a few posts here and there. So many people would message me like, oh my God, like, you know, that happened to me. Or like, I didn't know that was postpartum depression. And I went through that. And so I was like, wow, where did all these people come from? You know, like I had no idea.
It's just something you don't talk about. Yeah.
And my family still don't know that she went through all that, you know, so it's not like we're hiding from them, but I just trying to avoid all the.
It's a difficult topic.
Yes,
it's hard to talk about it.
No, and
so thank you for sharing that.
It was, especially, I don't know how I did it, especially I'm not trying to like put myself out there, but I'm full-time student still since like forever. And I'm about to finish this May. So, and work. Yeah. So it was work, for school, and then doing everything on the side, which is
it's like you already have a lot on your plate, and it's like life hits you, and
really hard.
You gotta roll with it.
Yeah. But como le dije, just be strong and look. And I always show her pictures of Matias when he was born, like because she didn't know anything. I was the first one to hug him and cut the umbilical cord, and I show her pictures, and now she loves and she starts crying. But you know, I can see the love now. You know, the connection. Yeah. And Matias, every time he sees her, now he smiles a lot. So that's really beautiful too.
It's a motherly love.
Yeah.
Yes. It's always gonna be there.
Yeah. Yes. No, that's what's up. Like, you know, kind of like what you were mentioning earlier, like, you know, Latino like parents, you know, it's hard. They don't experience that. So it's kind of like with me as well. Like, you know, when I would get mad, like, I'm just go to my room and forget about it. And that's how I learned. And I had to change that with her because she wants to talk right away. And, you know, something like you, like, you know, you weren't like, you know, your parents are not experts with postpartum depression. So, you know, there'd be times where, not to generalize it, but people like men, you know, they don't know what's going on, you know, and they get frustrated and like, I don't know what's going on with you. You know, I've tried my best, you know, you're on your own, stuff like that. You know, he never lost the patience. And, you know, I mean, I like that. It's like, you know, I applaud you for that. Because it's one thing that you have to go through it, but it's a different thing for you to go alone, you know. And, you know, with me and Graciela, it was hard because, like, we were young, you know, we were just, you know, she was going through it, and there was, like, so many sidetracks, and there's so many things, and I never thought about it. We never thought about, like, oh, it's postpartum depression, you know, and I don't know how we survived it, but we did, you know. And it's nice to see, like, a different, you know, route.
I mean, I didn't talk to anybody. I was just in the house. with Aiden by ourselves. Like he was like working 8-hour shifts, and my mom was gone too. My sister was at school, and it's just like me and him. And like, you know, breastfeeding for me was so hard with him. He would like, because they gave him a bottle at the
Hospital.
At the hospital, because like I mentioned before, well, in another episode, I had gestational diabetes with both of my kids, and I guess it kind of affects the child, like sometimes, like at the beginning. So in order to like raise their blood sugar, they had to give him like formula. So they gave him a bottle at the hospital, and he got used to the heavy flow or whatever, the fast flow. And going home was so hard, like to breastfeed him. I had to go from formula and breast milk. Like I had to go back and forth to be able to like fill him up. And like so I struggled with that. And then, you know, we talked about this before. Mario was like just not there.
Yeah, I wasn't, you know, I was always tired. I would go to work at 3 a.m, be back hella tired and go to sleep, honestly. And and he was always crying, always crying. Pa todo lloraba, nomás se la pasaba así, and I mean, she was on her own, honestly. I messed up on that. But, you know, that's what I'm saying is like we survived that. I don't know how, but, you know, because she needed my help, and I didn't know. I'm also like, you know, old Mexican family. Like they explain that to you, and it was new. I didn't know. So I was like, well, I'm tired, so I'll just go to sleep, you know. And that's how it was. And it was rough. Yeah, but, you know, I don't know. I'm happy you guys are going, you know, are supporting each other, because one of the things that we've learned through this podcast is like, you know, we don't really think about it. It's like, oh, what makes a good, you know, relationship? You know, we don't ever think about it. We never thought about it, but it's like, it's communication definitely is one of them. And then patience. That's another one that's important. And right here, what I see, it's patience. It's a lot of patience, and I see that. And then
Teamwork.
Yeah, teamwork, definitely. Because we already had, like, you know, we had another guest couple, and same thing. Like, one thing that I saw is like, oh, you know, we support each other. We're patient. Like, there you go, patience. There's another one. And we're talking to Graciela's cousin, and the same thing. Like, he knows, like, I was impatient. You know, so it's like, it's always something that makes the relationship work, and patience is definitely one of those. And you had a lot of patience, man. And, you know,
a lot, yeah.
And you can tell she's you know, doing a lot better. And I don't think it would be hard, you know, if you weren't there. So, you know.
Oh yes,
yeah.
I think I mentioned it before. Like, I was like, oh my God, how do people like do this? First of all, like, it can happen at any age. So, like, you know, if you're young, you don't really know. And I forgot who I was talking to about one of the friends on Instagram or something, and I was like, had I not been working in the field that I am, I probably wouldn't reach out for help. Why? Because no one in my family has ever talked about it. At this point, I don't know if they went through it, but for sure, never heard anything about postpartum depression. So all you really think about, or is actually talked about postpartum depression, is women that want to kill their babies, or you know, if you do reach out,
have killed their babies,
or if you do reach out for help, it's like you're gonna get this crazy medication and you're gonna be even crazier. Like, that's all the narrative that anyone, or at least I knew. So it was like, yeah, you know, if I had not been working in the field, I probably would not have reached out for help at all, because I wouldn't know that there was therapy or, you know, any of that. So I think that also had a huge impact on me.
When I heard about postpartum depression, but not to Latinos, other races, you know, like, and it was difficult, but we're here, we're working together, and, you know, and pa adelante.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys got this.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you guys ever want to reach out to us, just let us know. We're there for sure. Even if it's like a shoulder to, you know, talk, you know, and vent. Yeah. I think, you know,
if you need to go for a walk or something.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference for sure.
But yeah. So one of the things that I did want to ask you guys is, of course, you know, you guys are married, you have a kid. I always want to ask this, like, how do you guys meet? You know, who made the first move, basically?
That's a funny story.
It is. We met in high school. Well, I knew who she was in middle school, but just because her parents and my parents are from the same town in Mexico. So, but besides that, I never talked to her until high school. It was a math class, Mr. Franco. You know, and no, was it Mr. Franco?
No.
No. There you go, then.
You can tell the story.
You
Then.
can tell the story.
So yes, he knew who I was before I even knew he existed, obviously. I found out about him in high school during a field trip.
Oh, yeah.
There was, I don't know if you guys remember, there used to be the indoor soccer during lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So they had, I don't know how, but there was a field trip with all those people to Stanford, and me and my other friend, Yesenia Garcia. We were like, yeah, let's go, you know, because it was like, oh, the soccer guy, blah, 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 right? So we somehow ended up on that bus, and we went, and he was also there. So
Were you one of the soccer guys?
No.
no, but he was another one of us that just kind of ended up going. So we're walking, and we're gonna go to eat. So there's like, you know, just everybody's just kind of grouping with each other and talking, and then he and a bunch of other guys kind of grouped with us, and they're talking, and he's, you know, making these jokes and stuff, and I'm like, oh, he's funny. And then he's like, yeah,
It's always humor.
people start saying like where they're
Yes.
from, right? And he's like, yeah, from Mexico, que sabe que. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from Mexico, this is and that. He's like, yeah, I know who you are and where you're from. And I was like, so I was like, what? And then my cousin, who was really close friends with him, also went. And then I was like, oh, okay, so you know me because of him, like, you know. And that's when I noticed him. And then I was like, okay. So from then and on, we then had the math class after that. I was like, oh, I know you. And
And obviously I was a terrible student. I was. But I always loved math for some reason. Just math comes to me so easy. But
Especially
I was
when the cute girls in the class, right?
But I was a horrible student. Like I said, I never did my homework. I knew what the problem was, but I never did my homework. So I was like, Alejandra, can I get your homework? She'd be like, okay.
I'm
So,
blushing and everything.
You know, so I just like copy the homework real quick, and I'll be like, hey, I got the homework. And then I just pass it around. And she noticed it, but she never said anything. And then it was that. And I graduated high school, and I joined the military.
We just became really like
Yes.
close friends.
So you guys weren't dating in high school?
No.
We did not date in high
No.
school.
And then when I joined the Marine Corps, you know, we kept in touch here and there. I think she sent me a letter to boot camp. And, you know, when I graduated boot camp, you know, I'm a tough, brave Marine, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I came and I told her I was at high school because she was a senior at that time and I was already out. I was like, I'm here in your high school. And she's like, oh, I'm not here. And she was gone. And that was my last day I was going to be there until like forever.
Yeah, because school had just ended, right?
Yes.
But I did see him in the hallway, and like there's like a bunch of friends there, and I was like, oh, he didn't even tell me. So it was like, nope,
And then you
I'm
were
leaving.
gone for the
Yeah.
day.
So I left. And then when he texted me, I was like, oh, I left.
Yeah, it was your loss, not mine.
Apparently not.
You know, but we kept in touch. You know, I went to all this other.
Oh, so you
trainings.
guys didn't get to see each other like that
No.
time? Oh my god!
And we
I was
just
mad I
started.
left.
Yeah, we just kept talking through. That was like June, so July, August, September. I was in all these trainings and stuff in schools, and then I got stationed in my first duty station, and it's called Bridgeport, California. It was really cold there, and we kept talking, and she had a boyfriend at the time too. But,
Nobody need to know that.
but you know, it was just whatever. I knew she was into me, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
And
right.
He's like,
come on. We will text all the time or talk at night. Like, what kind of boyfriend lets her girlfriend talk to the other guy at night, you know. And so it was, she broke up with him or something like that or whatever, you know. And then it was like February time frame of 2009. And I was nervous. I was going to ask her like, oye, ¿te gusto más que un amigo? Yeah. But when I said that, because it was actually that same phrase, you know, in Spanish, I was in the phone. I was like, ¿te gusto más que un amigo? And if it's yes, stay quiet. If it's not, say something. I was like, but then she stayed quiet for a while. And then I was like, oh, I meant to say if you do. And then she's like, yeah, I like you more than a friend. So from there on, like from February 2009, we just kept talking more and more and more. And then I had the first chance to come visit my family and her until April. And there was a baile at that time, La Arrolladora.
In San Jose.
In San Jose. And I was like, hey, I'm going this weekend and I'm going to go to the baile. Do you want to go? And then she said yes. And then, you know, at the baile, her sister and my concuño now, it's like, oh, okay, here she is, you know, cuídala, blah, blah. So we danced all night. And I don't remember, but I probably say, like, mi amor or something like that.
Yeah, you called me amor.
Oh, amor, and I give her a kiss, you know. I really don't
I was
remember.
in heaven. I was like, oh my God.
But then we met the next day, and it was April 19th. And Wild Canyon Park, Alvarado, Spanish, Mexicans, Alvarado.
Alvarado Park.
We walked there, you know, and I asked her to be my girlfriend. And there at the table.
He was wearing his uniform, by the way.
I was wearing my. So she's
like, how could I?
She
so
has
she
to
had
say
to say yeah. Yeah, right.
And then that same table, 6 years later, I proposed her in the same table.
Oh.
And then when she got pregnant on the same table, she told me she was pregnant.
Oh, so that's like really meaningful for you guys, like that.
I told her that once we buy our house, like somehow I must
like,
steal
I'm
that
gonna
table.
take that.
Oh yes, come at nighttime and just cut this.
Chop it off.
Yes.
We'll help. We'll
I got an electric jigsaw. We just take it.
We'll be there.
It's like just a regular picnic table. But
Yeah, it is. It is a regular.
But it's yours now.
It is.
Like, it's yours.
By law, it is.
apparently, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I was gonna ask you guys, like, you know, how did you propose to her? But that was
It was our anniversary.
It was our anniversary too. Exactly. It was a Sunday also. But I had the ring for almost a year and a half before I proposed. I already knew I wanted to propose to her, but then I don't know. It was not the right time. It was not the right time, just because I was doing all this training. I was still in the military, and then I got the news that I was deploying to Afghanistan. So it was like, you know, I can't. And I left my engagement ring to one of my friends. I was like, once I come back, you know, just give it to me and I'll propose then. But it was difficult because at that time when I came back from Afghanistan, my grandpa had passed away. So I was not thinking of anything like that. But it was nice, you know. I spent good amount of money for it, and the ring that she has is really has three diamonds, I think, or something. It means the past, and then the middle one means the present, and then the ones in the future. So it's not like a regular engagement ring, but I told her what exactly I meant for it, and she loved it, and she still wears it, I think. I don't know.
Can I see?
Not today.
Oh, okay.
She gets mad at me because I don't wear my ring, but
Oh my God. I know. I'd be like, so you're not married today, huh?
but
I don't wear mine.
But before I proposed to her, I did talk to her parents, like I will say Mexican guys will do, or on my side, traditionally, I went and I talked. I was like, I already had my plan. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go to our table because it's our anniversary, and she's like, okay. I'm like, okay, can we just eat sandwiches or something? So we actually bought like torta, jamon, queso, everything to make a sandwich, you know. I was like, this is just a regular picnic, you know. And I was like, just go to the store and buy some chips and soda. No, we just get in the way. No, just go right now and buy the soda.
You wanted
But
to get her
no. And I was like, and then finally I convinced her. I'm like, just go. And then I just make sure that everybody asked for something. So I was like, her parents were about to leave. I'm like, oh, just wait, And I asked them if I could marry her. And obviously they start crying. But,
Oh.
they were like, yes, you have our
You
blessing.
seem very close to your family.
Super close. He even asked them to date me.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, even that.
Well, I mean, you guys are from the same town, so they're gonna be like, "We know where you're from,
Right?
Yeah. We'll come get
I
you."
know where you live.
Yeah, my parents
know your
and her
parents.
parents,
Yeah.
they know each other since they were kids.
Oh,
They're not
shit.
really close, but
But they know each other.
Yeah.
they know each other since they're kids also.
Well, another thing that we wanted to talk about. I don't know if you want them to get into like their wedding or whatever, but remember why we missed
Yeah.
their wedding?
Yeah.
I was so bummed out, honestly. Like I had a dress ready. Like we missed you guys' wedding, but we really wanted to go. But during that time, no Spidieron, like they asked us for like the place we were living in, like that we were renting. They asked us like they were gonna for us to empty it within 3 months or whatever. But we ended up finding an apartment because you guys that same weekend that you guys got married, we found an apartment, and like it was like move or wait longer, and we're like, damn,
Yeah.
we're like moving that day. Yeah, but we wanted to go, so you guys are gonna have to do it over for us,
Yeah.
Mm.
You gotta have
25
Let it just
years.
not be that hot, please.
It was
It was hot.
it was the hottest day in the Bay Area.
oh shit.
It was 107,
It
108
was.
Yeah.
degrees. And I was wearing my uniform, my military uniform. It was
Oh my
so
God.
hot. It was ridiculous hot.
Yeah.
Like the day before was like 60, 70, normal Bay Area weather. And then that day 107, 108. And then the next day was like 80.
Oh my God.
But it was but thank God, a lot of people did go, even though it was really hot. People just go.
It was in September, right?
September 2nd.
Yeah.
So I was like, that month is usually not that hot, but it also is not that cold. So it'll be fine. No, it was above 100. I was like, oh my God. That whole week, I kept checking the weather every day. I was like, it changes. Nope. It was so hot. It was fun though. We still had fun.
God.
So how did you guys feel like, going into like the day of or even the night before? Did it feel like nerve-wracking? What were your emotions going through?
I was waiting for that, like to be nervous because people were like, oh, like you're not going to want to eat because you're going to be so nervous. You're not going to be able to sleep. I was chill till I was literally outside the church. I was like, oh shit.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It was normal. Everything was good, but I had to wake up really early to go to the hall, take all the liquor, meet up the lady that was going to decorate the stuff. So I was there really early, setting everything, make sure that everybody knew where it was going to be, the main table, everything, And then that day was frustrating too. She doesn't say, but our DJ was not going to show up. Like that morning, he canceled, and it was. I was like, "What the, like, what we're gonna do now? We have the banda from certain time to certain time, but before that, like, we're gonna be there since like 2:00. Like, we need some music." And then I'm calling friends. I'm calling my brother. Call your friend that has a DJ. Like, we're calling different DJs from, I think, Heido. I think Heido had a DJ. And I have many friends. All of them were like booked. All of them. And it was, but then we talked to the DJ. It was some family issues were going on. But luckily, he made it.
Oh, okay.
He called her, and I guess something happened, Somebody was supposed to pay him. It was supposed to be a gift for us, and they never pay him. So we didn't know about it. I was like, obviously we're saving every money for everything. I was like, you should have just told us. Like, you didn't have the money. We'll pay for it, But then he was nice enough to call her, and we ended up finding the money from somewhere else, But he showed up.
That was probably stressful.
Yes,
That
because
part,
he had the
yes.
music for the entrance, for the first dance, for the the billete dance, and they've been talking. We had like a whole
What do you call it? Like a list?
slideshow of
Oh,
our
the slideshow
picture.
too. Yeah.
We had
everything
like
was
a
set
whole
up.
setting, time by time and everything, because we didn't want to miss anything. So he was on track of everything, and that happened. It was just like mind blowing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, I bet it's stressful.
It was super stressful until like an hour before our wedding. He said yes or something.
Yeah, about
Yeah,
an hour.
hour
Damn.
before, and we're like,
He
we're
was
not
just
gonna
trying to
have
figure out the
DJ.
whole,
Her dad was trying to find a mariachi that same day, so we can have some other music. It was
It was crazy.
everybody was supportive
For a
that
few
day,
hours,
but
yeah.
it was really crazy. But it was
It turned out really good.
definitely.
Date to remember.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you guys had the ceremony where
St. Paul's.
St. Paul's, okay. So one of the questions that I asked before is like it's a different okay, you guys are married, go to the party, like the ceremony part, like you guys are walking towards like the aisles, like how are you guys feeling? Like I mean, and I asked because like we weren't there, unfortunately we weren't there. We wanted to, but we weren't. So I'm actually real curious, like how you guys were feeling, what was the emotions going through your head?
I think it's very different for, both of us. But at least in my experience, he kept saying, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm like, you're going to cry when you see me. He's like, no. So I was waiting to see if he cries or not, But I'm walking down the aisle, obviously with my parents. And it was just like a flashback. Like it was really, really hard being in a long distance relationship as a young person, because I mean, like there's, all of my friends had boyfriends and like they could go to the movies. Like I didn't have a regular relationship, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So, like I couldn't just hang out with him on a Friday night or let's just go grab something to eat. Like it was very, very different, very mature type of relationship. And there was no one that could relate. So that was hard. No one really understood that when he would come and visit, like I wanted to spend like every minute I could with him, because it could go on for months without seeing him or whatever. And he always tried his best, So like all those flashbacks of me sometimes like crying, like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to have a normal relationship. This is so tough. We're just going through my mind and like, of how much our relationship grew. I mean, we went through a lot of issues together. Communication was so important because you're technically on the phone only.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of the FaceTime and all that stuff yet. So it was really, really hard to do that. And that just kind of, like I said, was going through my mind, and all those nice moments and just feeling so grateful. Obviously, I was nervous to get all the way up to him. And I was like, oh my gosh. So when I get up there, like, what do I say? What do I do? Like, what's going to happen? And then, because your dad usually like hands you off or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, ¿qué hago? So I get there and he's crying and I'm like,
I told you.
I don't know. I'm like, okay, I wanted him to cry, but like, do I hug him? Like, am I supposed to do that? Like, like, I don't know what to do. Like, my instinct was like, I'll just hug him and give him a kiss, but you can't really, right? Or I don't even know. But I was like,
What do you do in this
situation?
situation?
So that was me walking up and seeing him cry. I just kind of like freaked out. And so the picture looks kind of funny when we are literally face to face. Like you can see him crying and I'm holding his hand and kind of looking like, what do I do?
Like, this is awkward.
But then once I got up there, we were holding hands. Like it just kind of calm. I just felt really, really calm. So that was my experience walking up.
My experience was, I was not nervous. I was not nervous at all. I've been waiting for that moment, But I don't know, when I saw her, she looks, well, she's beautiful, but she looked just extra beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, that's my wife.
She was coming with both her parents, and her mom is more the strong person in the relationship. I'm not saying that her dad is
my
not,
dad
but
was
her
crying
dad
at
was just
home.
like crying, you know. Yeah, and so it was amazing. I had many friends coming from everywhere, from the military, and it was just I don't know. I was not nervous. Well, when I saw her, I definitely cried
You just got
because
emotional.
yes.
Yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. So, another thing, because I know you're a veteran, right?
Yes.
So that's one of the questions that I wanted to, like, not everybody goes through like long distance relationship, yet let alone, someone that's deployed. How long did you guys date? When you guys when you were deployed or out of,
Since I was in the military, we dated the whole time.
The whole time he was in.
The whole time since my first deployment was 2011, and so at that time we're 21, 22-year olds, and I had to go for 8 months, and the only thing I couldn't say many places where I was at due to the safety of everybody, and would just send letters. So it would take good amount of time, and sometimes I would be able to talk to her once a week. I first call my mom and then I call her, but it was really difficult. It was.
That's funny, not funny, but like I had a conversation with one of my friends yesterday. He called me because he was having like a little bit of like a struggle. I mean, he's going through a long distance relationship, but it's different. Like it's kind of, she's out somewhere else because of work and he's here, and like, he's like, do you guys have any advice on long distance? So I'm like, I'm going to ask you guys, do you guys have any advice on long distance?
Communication, trust, you're far. People will get in your head. Oh, he might be cheating, or she might be doing something else, or how Latinos are, like just trying to like play with your mind all the time. Like if I was cheating, like it would be a waste of time for me to just like keep talking to her. Like, why would I want to do that? I don't know. For me,
It takes too much effort.
Yes, to be hiding, like text. People like hide their phone, hide their text. Like, no, just like el teléfono, get it, But trust, definitely trust, and understand if the other person can speak or talk at the same time. You can. And it happens. That's the part of being a long distance relationship. Because I was times where I was training where there was no phone signal at all. Like, what can I do? Yeah, it's daytime, but I don't have no signal. I'm not. Oh yeah, let me go over here and start running, and with my phone on the side. People need to understand that if they're in a long distance relationship, to have communication and trust. That's the biggest part for me.
Yes, I agree. I think transparency is key. Because you're not seeing that person, it's really easy for your mind to kind of just go places. So one thing that we used to do was just kind of be, what would you say? Like if he was to go anywhere or I was to go anywhere, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go over here. Like even though it was like not that important, but it's just to kind of keep that person, I don't know, present, I guess you could say. And I would tell him, like, I'm fine with like you going out, or, you're going to go out to eat, whatever. But it's just like, just let me know where you're at and when you come back. Why? Because like, I just want to know that you made it there safe and you made it back safe. And that's it. That's all that matters.
I'm not trying to keep tabs on you. Just I want to know you're okay.
Exactly.
You feel included. You feel a part of, and that's big because when you're not there, you don't really see that. And then it's like, oh, it's been all day. He hasn't said anything. Like, what is he doing? That kind of stuff. And then I think I was just going to say, arguments are something also that you have to treat them very differently, because you can't just like walk away and then you can see when that person's calmed down and you're like, okay, let me talk to her now. Ya se calmó. Like she, I'll be able to get a few words in. We'll be able to talk about, like, you don't see that. So you don't know that. I think arguments when you're in long distance, it's easy to just, click the phone and whatever, I'm going to ignore him, blah, blah, blah. But you need to set some kind of, I don't know if they're rules or what it would be, but like ways of communication. Yeah. When you are upset. So that's something that we also learned, because I guess you learn it as you go. That if we're angry or we were angry at each other, like we would say that, like, you know what, like, I'll need to talk to you about this later. Like, I can't talk to you right now. Mm-hmm. But you would mention that. I'm going to talk to you later. And then that person is the one that's going to, okay, let's talk about it, Because, again, you don't see that person. You don't know when that person's going to be okay to talk about it. So you take ownership of that and be like, okay, yeah, I'm calm. Let's talk about what happened. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I feel is really important because, like I said, you don't see that person. So,
and that communication just came along with our marriage. Like every time, I'll leave to work. Hey, yeah, my boy, I gotta work. Hey, when you leave, let me know. When you get there, let me know. Sometimes she forgets. I'm like, are you at work already or what?
Very rare, but I do.
Like, hey,
we're in a rush.
But even when you leave from work, hey, I'm already leaving, okay? Because you already know that person is supposed to be there from whatever time. You have a time from Concord to here, like maybe an hour the most. If not, you start worrying about that. I don't know, but communication, stuff.
And it's not just like as like a couple, because our kids are like that too. Aiden, he knows if I get off at 10:30 from work and I'm not here within the time frame that I'm usually home. Like sometimes because we work in the same building, we work together. Sometimes, we drive together. So then he's like calling us like, hey, si nos tardamos un poquito because we stopped by to, I don't know, grab a bite or something, like something quick. He's already calling us like, you guys are supposed to be home. And sometimes we're literally outside and Mario's like, oh, no, we just got off, like to play with him. But yeah, it's like, it means a lot to someone who cares about you. Like you want to know that you're okay.
And mentioning like going to work and stuff, like I remember I hate Facebook because I read an article about a woman got abducted going to the grocery store. So I told her like, don't go to Fumax's, like, because she used to do that all the time. Like go to Fumax like
after work.
Yeah, I'm like
I'd be there almost at midnight.
I'm like, don't do that. Just like, pick me up or go the next day. And I started reading an article about somebody got abducted. I'm like, so ever since then I got paranoid. Like, hey, if she's going to work at 6 a.m, like, hey, let me know when you get there. Let me know when you're inside the building. Because it's, start panicking. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it's me, but.
Well, you never told me to that extent.
Because I didn't want to scare you. If I tell her.
Dramatic.
Que no la quiero espantar, I'm like, but yeah, it's stuff like that. I'm like, I understand.
No, they're the same for me, but I seen too many accidents on the freeway. Like I was in San Diego for many years, and I would drive 8 hours to just see her and then drive back. Or I was in 29 Palms near Vegas, and I would drive. So I seen many accidents. Yeah. So I don't want that to happen. Even from here to work, even from here to Emerald, you see a couple accidents. You see a related truck or like a truck that looks familiar, you're like right away start looking for that person. So, it's obviously... I love her. I don't want to lose her.
Thank you. I love you.
No llores. Okay.
No.
You're not going to cry?
No.
Oh. What's happening?
No,
So when was the... I'm going to sound like dumb, but when was the last time you got deployed? And like technically, are you out of the service?
My last deployment was on February 2014. I came back on October 2019. No, 2014, sorry. But I got out the military in 2015, late 2015. Mm-hmm. And she already knows the reason I got out is because I wanted to be with her. Mm-hmm. Because I love the military. Like, people can say many things about it, but I loved it. It made the man I am today, mm-hmm. The responsible, whatever, but I love her more. So I knew I was going to get deployed even more. And which I love, I love going to training and everything, but we're growing, and the relationship was getting par at a certain time where it was like either I do it this right now or we're probably gonna break up. So I decided to get out in 2015.
That was right before you proposed, right? No, you proposed the year.
Yeah,
after,
I proposed that year that I was gonna get out.
Mm-hmm.
I was still in the military when I proposed, but my mind was already set. I already had signed the contract saying I was not gonna reenlist, and she didn't knew about it until later. She was surprised, but now since I got out in 2015, and I started school 2016, like fresh. Like it was really hard. It's hard.
Mm.
I basically started from the bottom, like community college, like the first English class, like I know how to speak it, but I didn't know how to write it, and that's so difficult. But she was there. She's supportive, really supportive. So really supportive. Like I wouldn't made it to where I'm at in school right now if it wasn't for her. Like, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. I'm like, I just want to go to work. I just give me another job, 9 to 5, and I'm good.
Yeah.
But, I'm there. Thanks to her. About to finish school May.
That's what's up. Congrats.
Thank you. So, well, yes, I'm out.
Yeah. So, so you guys were already dating when you went to Afghanistan? Were you guys dating already?
Oh, yeah.
Were you ever scared of, I mean, it's a war, right? It's
yeah, but no, I can say that from my mentality was I'm coming back. I never felt it. I think I felt it twice, but that will go into details a lot. But I only felt it twice. But I called my mom. And yeah, but it was good. I literally never went with that mentality like I'm not coming back. I'm coming back, definitely coming back. I always say, I'll see you there. I'll see you there, and I see you there. I never said like goodbye or no. I just said I'll be back. I'll see you later.
Yeah,
and you go with that mentality. Once you go with a different mentality, then you're struggling the whole time, and you cannot be doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the services, because you mentioned something like when we were younger, I told her like I kind of wanted to join the military, but I didn't, because during the time it was before Aiden, I was afraid. Like, I'll be honest, like I was afraid. I didn't want to go somewhere, in war and not come back. Because it's once you're in it, it's the mentality. It is the mentality. That's why I was asking, like, because my mentality is like I'm strong mentally, but when it comes to her, so you bebe, I'm like I just crumble. So it was like it's hard for me, like I could never do that, and it takes a lot, honestly, for you to have that type of mentality, like it's a lot, honestly. But like I said, thank you for the services, and going out of that and taking the decision to leave something you love for something you love even more, that's
beautiful.
That's beautiful. That's very beautiful.
Very, very selfless.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Very selfless.
Yeah. But you want to say something else? Because honestly, I think that was the main things. Like we talked about like people, and coming in and talking about their stories. You guys are a unique story, and then we didn't want to bring up like postpartum because I know it's sensitive, but it's something like not a lot of first parents go through, and I think it's important for certain people, like shed some light.
Or it's not something that is talked about.
Perfect. Yeah, it's not talked about with especially with parents that are older generation, like mentality wise, we're not educated, and stuff like that is like, she went through that, and it's like, and she mentioned it like, that made a lot, that meant a lot when I went out. And then you post that a couple of days ago. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. We were just talking about that. And, it's something like that I think people can take in. It's like, you're not alone. And help is definitely good because we didn't,
It is.
Yeah.
it's actually a lot easier to reach out for help and get the help you need. It just sounds very scary. I think that's the biggest thing. And I'm glad you guys brought it up. I think that in itself is a huge, huge topic. There was times, because I made little posts here and there. There are times where I'm like, people are probably like, okay, we get it. You have postpartum depression. Like, I think about those things. That's another thing that I struggle with. My mind, Jesus, it goes like 20 miles per hour. Just thinking of all the things anyone could possibly think of, right? Which is not good. But
it's like, am I putting too much out there? Like, am I giving people something to talk about, kind of thing? Yeah.
So that's something that I also. I'm glad that we talked about that. It is something very scary. It is it's really tough to get through, but I mean, just like I said, it's really easy to get the help that you need. And if anyone wants to talk about reaching out, I'm open to that. I'm really open to talking about it. So for sure, I'm here if anyone needs any information about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate a lot of people appreciate that, honestly. But yeah, I'm actually really happy you guys came. I know Lalo, we know each other for a while, but we don't like, we're not like
super close. Like,
yeah,
we
and it's kind of like which
we
is
come around each other.
Yeah, and with me, like it's kind of weird, but I see people and like it's nice to see like a happy couple. And it's nice. It's even nicer to see a couple that are not just happy, but they, you hear this story and like, it's working along. It's kind of like, I was telling Graciela a couple of years ago, like I used to go to the park with Aiden, and it was always nice to see like dads taking their kids, daughter or son, and it's nice to see another dad be involved because as you see like our generation, you don't see that often, or at least it's thrown out there, or deadbeat dads, right? It's always nice to see something like, a father doing the same thing. And standing in a couple standpoint, I felt the same way. It's like, it's always nice to see another couple that are happy and they're making it work. And through your struggles, you guys are making it work, honestly. So, just thought I should know that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything else? Do you guys have any questions? No pressure. No pressure.
Damn, you just like came out.
Just
I know that was gonna happen.
I do have a question, but I don't know if I should ask it right now.
Go for it. You guys can ask.
Scary.
Oh,
So you guys got the exclusive.
She got it.
Yeah.
She got
You
it.
guys got the exclusive. We're gonna tell you guys regardless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah. we're gonna-
confused.
So, can I ask?
Yeah, go for it.
Are you guys pregnant now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing I saw. I'm sorry, but
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third one in the way.
congratulations. Nah.
And I'm looking at them.
And I'm like
oh.
over here because obviously I told him that I was listening to the podcast since the first day.
Mm.
You guys were mentioning
Yeah.
about it, so I'm like, and I told her, how, I was like, when I walked in, and I was like, okay,
My question was actually going to be related to like parenting, but
what is
that's
parenting?
funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. It's actually, we're 2 months pregnant now. 9 weeks.
Yeah.
My mom actually got those diapers from somebody that was like, "Oh, my baby outgrew them, and do you know anybody?" And mom was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take them," and she gave them to me. So it's like really early still, but she gave me a whole bunch of diapers already. So
Oh, yeah, we did that too. Huh?
yeah. So yeah, you
Yeah.
guys.
congratulations!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna tell you guys. So like, not everybody knows. I think we're gonna drop that episode. And
We already talked about it on
An
recording or
episode.
something, but I don't know. I just keep pulling it back.
yeah.
Wait, no, another week or
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Yeah,
Like, new baby, your kids. I mean, are obviously, they're big. They're kind of like more independent
Yeah.
in a way. So
we actually talk about that too. I'm really excited. They're very happy. Like we've talked to them about it before, like before it even happened. Like we asked their opinion on it and everything, and they're very excited. And one of the things that makes me really happy is that I know, like, I see how they are. They're so loving towards each other. They're just like, they're so loving in general. And it's just like, I can just picture them like with the baby sibling and just like how nurturing they're gonna be. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just so exciting for me. I'm excited. And one of the things that Aiden actually said himself, he's like, he's excited because at least this time he's gonna remember. Like, you know, he's gonna have a memory of it. He's like, when Adi was born, I was so little, I don't remember. He's like, you know, they just kind of grew up together, but he's gonna remember this one, and that, I mean, he's excited about it.
Yeah. I mean, and with me, kind of like we were mentioning, like with Aiden, you know, he was a baby, era bien llorón, and I wasn't very like involved, you know, no la ayudé mucho con ella, con el baby. So, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm excited because even with Adi, you know, we went through our issues. You know, we went through like Aiden, like I was scared, you know, like we went through like, you know, we had a lot of problems. We had a lot of issues. Y como que me espanté, me escamé, you know. So I'm like, you know, as another baby, what is
we
this?
talked about that. Like,
Yeah.
he stopped talking to me for like 3 days after we found out that I was pregnant.
I was shocked.
Like,
was
he didn't talk to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't do this by myself.
Yeah, I was shocked and I was scared, like, you know, what's gonna happen to us, you know. And it's funny, but I tell her like, I love you a lot, and I love you more than the kids, and I mean it. I love my kids, I really love my kids, but I don't know, I just feel like I just love her too much. And when Adi happened, I was scared, like I don't think I can't lose her, you know. And it was going back into it, like now I feel like, you know, like embarrassed to say that I stopped talking to her, and I was scared for our relationship. But now with this third one, like I kind of want to redeem myself, you know. I just want to enjoy the baby, you know. And I enjoyed it with Aiden. I didn't enjoy it so much with Adi, and I'm kind of like, you know, it kills me, but you know, I just want to be different this time around, you know. And it's like we have the kids now, and they're older, and they're all excited, so it's like now it's gonna be like a whole family thing.
His mom, oh my God, his mom was so excited.
Yeah, my mom was. Yeah, she lives with us, you know. She takes care of the kids. We're not home, but yeah, she was excited.
Yeah, she cried. She was sobbing about it, and I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. Well, yeah, it was beautiful. But yeah.
But yeah, so third one.
Exciting.
Play
Cool.
dates with Matthias.
Oh, right.
Right.
A year apart.
Yeah.
I won't be that much older.
No,
Anyway.
only a year, so it's not that much.
Yeah.
So what are you guys thinking? I know, you know, having the firstborn. Are you guys thinking of any more kids?
Yes.
Yes, but later. First is a house. Buy a house. That's the main priority.
That's what we're working on.
We're working on that. And after that, once we settle down, yes, the second one for sure.
Awesome.
But maybe 2. That's it. Or maybe the third one, just like you guys. That depends.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, she wants 5.
I'm
like,
going for 5.
Está loca.
Hey, yo no,
Sí,
pero maybe
you
or
guys-
6.
You guys started
That's
young.
6, right?
You guys were like 20.
Yeah.
We're 30. I'm about to be 32 on Sunday. So,
Oh shit, bro.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
We're the same age.
Yeah.
I know, but they started young. They have 2 kids
Oh,
already.
see,
That's
I
one.
get what you're saying.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was like,
It's like we could literally be done already, but we're like
Technically,
starting all over.
exactly. That's
you
why I was
know?
asking. Like, how
Yeah.
does that?
Yeah, I mean,
feel
we're like
starting all over again.
I think for me, it's been a little hard because, you know, like his mom lives with us. So like at first, like the first couple of months that we were here, the kids were just in her room with her. And I'm just like, I need to feel needed. Like I need to feel like, you know, we were in our apartment. It was our 1-bedroom apartment. Like I would get up and I would like feed my kids, like make them breakfast. It's like she's doing that, like that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I appreciate it, but it's like, I don't feel as needed anymore. And I'm like, we're going to have another one because I need to be needed. I need someone to need my attention because I need to give attention. So, you know, I mean, I guess that's kind of why I have dogs now. I have guinea pigs. I have birds now.
Oh.
So it's like, I just need to be needed. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I like neediness.
Oh my god.
Thank you. But yeah, any more questions? I think we're pretty much wrapping this up.
You guys good? Thank you guys for sharing your story.
Yeah,
and
Thank you for
having us here.
Yeah, no, I really
It was
appreciate
fun.
you guys coming. Thank you for making the time, definitely, and
Yes.
thank you for listening because I know you.
Oh yeah.
Supporting. But yeah, so I think that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you on the next one.